A very good morning, class. Today, here is the lecture number 7 of this chapter, Coordination Chemistry, and this will be the last topic for this chapter. And that we are going to discuss about the CFT and crystal field theory and splitting energy and how it will split like that. So, all that we will do in today's class. Okay, so let's start with this. So this is crystal field theory. In this, we will know about that strong field ligand and weak field ligand, and how they do that all that splitting and how they help in the pairing of electrons. So that we are going to discuss about this. CFT is an electrostatic model which describes the electronic structure of metal ion in ionic crystal. It provides an approximate description of electronic energy level that determine the UV and visible spectra, but not the bonding. So this doesn't explain the bonding spectra. It explains the UV spectra and the visible spectra. So that is not the point to be learned. That is just a description about this crystal field theory, what it is and where it acts. That's it. Now, this is note that you have to understand that in isolated free state of all the d orbitals, like we have 5d orbitals, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square, y square, and dz square. So these five d orbitals, they are having same energy level, and that's why they are called degenerate orbital. Already you have done in chapter 2 of class 11. Yes. So they are called degenerate orbital because they have same energy level. On the basis of orientation, that means how the lobes are arranged. Okay, so these five orbitals are categorized under two groups. That one is on the axis and another is between the axis. So in that two ways they are categorized, and that are eg orbital and next is t2g orbital. What are they? In this eg orbital, evenly degenerate or axial orbital, that means the axis orbital. Okay, the orbitals on in which the lobes are on the axis. So that are only two, x square, y square, and dz square. So Eg orbital, G here shows the degenerate orbital. Okay, it shows the degeneracy. That means electrons and energy are same. So this Eg is always wherever it is Eg, it will be dx square, y square, and dz square, and this Eg orbitals will explain the lobes which are on the axis only, and rest three in which the axis in which the lobes are in between the axis, they are named as T2G orbitals. That is also known triply degenerate or non-axial orbitals. In this, the lobes lie in between the axis, not on the axis. Okay, so there are three: dxy, dyz, and dzx. Now the next thing is postulates of CFT. What are the postulates? So in this postulates, we will learn that anionic ligands are treated as negative point charge and neutral ligands are as point dipoles. Negative end is oriented towards the metal ion or the atom. Okay, so that is clear but because it has it has extra charge, so extra electron, so that's why it forms a coordinate bond with the metal. So that's why it is always pointed towards the metal atom. Interaction between metal atom and the ligand is purely electrostatic. Obviously that there is a plus minus deficiency and excess of electron and deficiency of electron is there. So that's why it is always purely electrostatic. There is no intermixing of atomic orbital or no insertion of electrons in metal orbitals. That means hybridization, यहाँ पे there is no intermixing. We cannot intermix the atomic orbital. इस ये जो CFT है वो पूरी पूरी तो d orbital की बात की जा रही है. That means the electron will be like in the same orbital. We have to consider. If the field produced by surrounding ligand is symmetrical, then the d orbitals of metal is degenerate. But in most of the complexes, degeneration is lost because field produced by ligand is not symmetrical and all the d orbitals are not equally affected by ligand. Okay, it says that कि जो भी ligands होते हैं, हर ligands के द्वारा we cannot all the d orbitals are not treated asymmetrical. So that's why degeneration वहां पे क्या हो जाती है, थोड़ी सी it is lost over there due to the strong field and weak field, which I have already explained in that whenever I was explaining the hybridization concept. So there I have explained that due to the strong ligand, how the electron is pushed back for the pairing, and for the in the weak ligand case it is not possible. So that means all the d orbitals are not equally affected by the ligand field. Okay, loss of degeneracy leads to splitting. Since degeneracy वहां पे क्या हो जाती है, खत्म हो जाती है because of this strong ligand and weak ligand, so that's why the splitting of d orbital occurs. This is the important point. And their energy will also distribute. Yes, that is called crystal field splitting, CFS. Crystal field splitting in octahedral, that you have to learn. It will be asked, very simple question will be asked from this topic. They will ask about that, show the crystal field splitting in the octahedral field or the tetrahedral field, and one important point that I will tell you afterwards. Okay, so that is the question asked from this topic only. So if it is in octahedral field, अगर हम octahedral field की बात करते हैं, then there will be 6 ligand. Octahedral, obviously there will be 6 ligand, and they are surrounded to metal atom or ion. Each two ligands are directed along both side of coordinate axis. That means plus side B or minus side B. Okay, plus x, plus y, minus y is plus z, minus z, like this. So this is the picture, this is the figure you have to draw whenever it is asked that draw the crystal field splitting in octahedral field. What simply you have to do, this is the d orbital. Okay, it goes to excited state, this is, and then it splits. Yes, split ho jata hai. This is the normal energy level. Okay, what will happen in this case, Eg will come up. Eg की एनर्जी ज्यादा हो जाती है नॉर्मल से, एंड T2G की एनर्जी कम हो जाती है. Got it? So what will happen? This 2G two orbitals will come up and called as Eg, and 3 orbitals out of this 5, 3 orbitals will come as a down like this, and this will be considered as T2G. In T2G, there will be 3 orbital dxy, dxz, and dyz, which the lobes are in between the axis. While in EG, that it will be dx square, y square, dz square. That means in which the lobes are on the axis. Okay. So now here it is what it is. This is like the gap between the energy gap between this EG and this T2G is considered as crystal field splitting energy. That is, delta is crystal field splitting, and O represents octahedral field ligand. Okay, so in the octahedral field it will be delta O. So this complete the difference between EG and T2G is considered as delta naught. If we see that from the normal stage, from the excited one, ये जो है, that this two will be their energy will be increased by 3 upon 5 delta naught, and T2G energy will be decreased by 2 by 5 delta naught. Yes, so this is the point, this is the fact to be learned. Like, see, if it is, I'm considering that whole has one energy, 1. Okay, so this can be 1 by 5, 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 isn't it? So now 2 are going up, so that means 3 नीचे चले जाएंगे. So their energy is increased by, यहाँ से क्या हो गया, increased by, out of, there is only 2 ना, so out of 3 sorry, out of 5 the 3 are going down, so that's why their energy will be increased by 3 by 5 of delta naught. And in this case the 3 are coming over here, so that means from the normal one, their energy will be uh, decreased by 2 by 5 of delta naught. So this delta naught is crystal field splitting energy, and this is Eg, this is T2G. In the octahedral field, you have to learn that 2 orbitals in which the lobes are on that axis, they will be on the upside, and 3 will be downside. So this is free metal ion, like it is explained here. Like it has dx square, y square, dz square, dxy, dxz, dyz. All the 5 orbitals are over here. Average energy of the d orbital in the spherical crystal field. This is increased करके यहाँ पे पहुंचा, and then here it is splitting of d orbital in the octahedral crystal field. ये split हो गया. Okay. So now next thing, d orbitals and the ligand interaction in octahedral field. कैसे ligand interaction होता है d orbital का? Let's see. So here it is. This one is d. ये, as I told you, this is the octahedral. Okay. That means if you draw that, this will be considered as, and here the ligands in the plus axis as well as minus axis will be there. So this is x, this is y, this is z. Okay, so in this case when it splits, the two which is having lobes on the axis will go up, their energy will be increased, and orbitals in which the lobes are in between the axis, they will have less energy than the original one, and they will come down. So d orbitals pointing directly at axis are affected most by electrostatic interaction, and that's why they get energy and they get excited more than that. Okay, and d orbitals not pointed directly at the axis are least affected, and that's why they are stabilized by the electrostatic interaction, and hence their energy will be less. Got it? Okay, so now next thing, crystal field stabilizing energy. That is not the important part. You have to learn this one. This picture should be learned. That here, this one you have to draw, then this one, and then this EG, T2G, and this 3 by 5 delta naught, 2 by 5 delta naught. These are the important thing which you have to level, which you have to show. That's it. Okay, this is called crystal field splitting energy in octahedral field. Now, crystal field stabilizing energy. This is called CFSE. It won't be asked in your board exam. ये board exam से related नहीं है. But there will be a formula by which we can solve some numerical sum questions of this, which will be asked in your NEET exam or JEE Mains. Okay, so difference in energy of EG and T2G orbital is called crystal field stabilizing energy, and that is represented by delta naught, delta O actually. So delta O CFSE is equal to minus 4 into NE minus T2G plus 6 into NE minus EG, and that is the unit DQ. In some book, you can see that instead of this 4, it will be minus 0.4 and it will be 0.6. So that is also, in that case, it will all will be in the fraction. Okay, where Ne minus T2G and Ne minus Eg are number of electrons in T2G and Eg set of orbitals respectively. Got it? ये जो होंगे, this will be the number of electrons in T2G, and this is the number of electrons in Eg orbital. Okay, and dq is the unit of CFSE. This is a differential of quanta something. So that is in higher study when you will go deep in this, so you will understand about it. Right now we have to understand only dq is the unit of CFSE. The energy of 2 Eg orbital will be increased by 3 by 5 delta naught, as I have explained, and that of 3 T2G orbital will be decreased by 2 by 5 delta naught. Yes. Okay, now more on CFSE. CFSE depends upon geometry of complex, size of metal atom, oxidation state of metal ion, and field produced by ligands. That means it is depending upon all the things, all this factor, metal and their oxidation state, as well as the field produced by the ligand, whether it is strong ligand or weak ligand, that all will decide. Some ligands are able to produce a strong field in which splitting will be large, and vice versa. Like a strong field, splitting will be large, weak field, splitting will be less. In general, ligands can be arranged in a spectrochemical series in order of increasing field strength, and that you have to learn. This is in your NCERT book also, so you can check this. Okay, and that is the order for the ligand, for the strength of the ligand you have to learn. So in this case, it's if you can learn, that's very good. And if it is not, you are not supposed, like if you are not able to learn this, then what you have to learn, these are the important thing: ammonia, AN, CN minus and CO. These are the strong ligand. ये सारे strong ligand होते हैं जो कि बहुत commonly used होते हैं. So in general, their comparison won't be asked, but सिर्फ EN हो या NH3 हो या CN minus हो या CO, that will be considered as strong ligand. Okay. H2O से नीचे जितने भी होते हैं वो सारे weak ligand होते हैं. All this will be considered as weak ligand. H2O के ऊपर जितने भी होंगे वो सारे strong ligand कहलाते हैं. Got it? वीक लिगेंड में जनरली जो होते हैं सारे हेलोजन आ जाते हैं. ओके, फ्लोरीन, क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, आयोडीन and oxalato, which is most common. Oxalato and all the halogens, they are the most common in the weak field, which will be used in your exam, in your examples. Okay, and strong ligand में ये mainly important, मतलब mainly use होते हैं. So I said that if you can learn this, that is well. But if it is you are not able to learn this, these are the few tricks you can understand. You can go through with this. Okay, chaliye. Next, it is an experimentally determined series based on the absorption of light by complexes with the different ligand. It is experimentally observed. It is not calculated something. It is simply what we can say experimentally. Okay, done. So generally, it is order depends on the donor atom. ये जो order होता है that depends upon the donor atom, and in this आपको what you have to learn that carbon will have the highest donation power, then the nitrogen, then the oxygen, and then the halogen. Okay, because halogens are electronegative, that concept you will not use in this. अगर वैसे use करोगे तो FON and all that, this concept is not used. यहाँ पे simply we check this is experimentally observed as I told you. So in that case, the carbon donor atom will have the highest power, then the nitrogen, then the oxygen, and then least will have for the halogens. And so that's why this is the order. Okay. Now weak and strong field ligand. What are they? In D1, D2 and D3 coordination entities, that means जिनका configuration D1, D2 और D3 होता है उनके लिए ये बात है, ठीक है? The d electrons occupy the T2g orbital singly according to the Horn's rule. For D4 ions, the fourth electron could either enter the T2g orbital level with pairing or avoid pairing by occupying EG level, and the two options are. This is the important point from which the question can be asked. Okay. One I have explained that either they will ask about the crystal field splitting in octahedral field or in the tetrahedral field. So octahedral field already we have done, tetrahedral field we will do. And another question will be asked from this topic. So this is the thing, D1, D2, D3. अगर configuration किसी का भी D1, D2, D3 है, in that the d electron will occupy T2g orbital. Initial के starting के जो होते हैं, in general what we assume, this is the assumption that these three are on the axis, isn't it? This is assume that dxy, dyz and dz ये initially जो होते हैं वो T2g होते हैं, and after that two are what EG. So if D1, D2, D3 combination are there, the coordination entities are there, their configuration is that, then it will occupy only this T2g, yani एक 1 1 1 singly according to the Horn's rule. But if there is D4, this D4 should be up actually. If D4 ions, then जो fourth electron होगा, that can go here for the pairing, and that can remain over here, like avoiding this pairing. दोनों ही हो सकता है, या तो ये ऐसे 1 1 1 और 1 यहाँ हो जाए, or it can, this one electron will go here for the pairing. That can also be done. It depends. So there are the two options, and that two options are this, and this will be asked as a question. What will happen if delta naught for the D4 configuration, if delta naught is less than pairing energy, then what will be the configuration? अगर pairing energy से कम है, so that means their pairing will not occur. So that's why it will be T2G3, यहाँ 3 electron, and this is for EG. So EG में 1 electron, that we will. Okay, got it? For the D4 configuration, if the CFS यानी कि is less than pairing, pairing is like more, यहाँ पे अगर हम करेंगे CFS ज़्यादा है, then pairing will not occur in that case. Okay, and because pairing energy is high, so we are not getting that energy, and that's why pairing will not occur. So in that case, the configuration will be T2G3 and EG1, and this will be considered as ligands are weak field ligand and form high spin complex, because pairing is not occurring over here. So that means for the hybridization, it has to take the higher d orbital, and that's why they form outer orbital complex, or they form high spin complex because of more number of unpaired electrons. But if CFE SE energy is less than pairing energy, matlab pairing energy is greater than pairing energy, sorry, that means pairing energy is less. So in this case, it will get the energy to be paired. So the fourth electron of D4 configuration will be pushed back in the T2G orbital for the pairing. Got it? And in that case, the electronic configuration will be T2G4 and EG0. That means electron has been pushed back for the pairing. So unpaired electron will be less, and that's why it will form low spin complex. And if it is low spin complex, we can say that it is forming inner orbital complex also, because it will occupy the inner orbital, inner d orbital, 3D orbital. Got it? So these 2 points are important. It can be asked that what happens if delta naught is less than pairing energy, then what will be the configuration for D4, and in this case. Got it? D3 to D7 coordination entities are more stable for a strong field as compared to weak field case. This is the point to be noted. ये D3 और D7 in general आपसे बोर्ड में नहीं पूछा जाता है D3 D7 के बारे में, but if it is asked, you can use this formula, the line. Okay. D3 and D7 coordination entities are more stable for a strong field as compared to weak field case. Now, crystal field is splitting in tetrahedral coordination entities. How it will be there in that tetrahedral field. अगर वो octahedral coordination entities के लिए we have done that, EG will have the high energy and T2G will have the low energy, but in the tetrahedral field, it will be just reverse. T2 will have more energy, but here we will not use the G word for that. Okay. So coordination number and number of ligand will be 4. T2 set, it will be considered as T2, not T2G. Okay. T2 set have higher energy than E set. G हट जाएगा दोनों से, as T2 orbital are more closer to the direction of approach of ligands. There will be more reason ये है because they are closer to the direction of approach of ligands, and that's why T2 की energy high हो जाती है और E की energy कम हो जाएगी. Crystal field splitting is less in tetrahedral complexes as compared to octahedral complexes. It can be shown that delta T tetrahedral field की जो crystal that energy जो होती है, splitting energy, that will be 4/9 of delta naught. This relation can also be asked in MCQs. Consequently, the orbital splitting energy are not sufficiently large for forcing the pairing, and thus low spin complex are rarely observed. क्योंकि ये back pairing नहीं हो पाती है, and that's why they form high spin complexes. That means low spin complexes are rarely observed in this case. Okay, so delta T like tetrahedral field में low spin complexes जो होते हैं वो rarely observe किया जाता है. This will be the picture exactly reverse of that octahedral, and in this case it will be -4 into Ne minus T2 and plus 6 into Ne minus E. सिर्फ G हटा देंगे, बाकी rest will be same. Okay, so this is d orbital in the free ion will get excited, will split into, in this case T2 will have high energy and E will have less energy. The same way we have to. This difference between the energy of T2 and E will be denoted as delta T. Okay, so this diagram can be asked, this picture can be asked. So there are the two pictures which can be asked in this topic, and one question from this previous slide. Now, color in coordination complex. This is also completely experimental. The color in the coordination compound can be explained in terms of CFT. For example, TiH2O whole 6 3 is violet in color. This is an octahedral complex with a single electron in T2G orbital in ground state of complex. The next higher available for the electron, the next higher state available for the electron is empty EG level. What it's saying, it is, as I told you, that it shows the complementary color. So it is completely experimental. We cannot find the color by ourselves. If light corresponding to energy of yellow-green region is observed by the complex, it would excite the electron from T2G level to EG level. Consequently, the complex appear violet in the color. अब ये देखो, here you can say that it is observing that yellow-green region and appearing in violet. So it is completely complementary, and that complementary color either you can learn or it won't be asked in that. So there is only option to mark up. Okay, and it won't be asked in your exam, and it is experimental completely. CFT attributes the color of coordination compound due to DD transition of electrons. Yes, that question can be asked, that why they show color. So you can tell that because they show DD transition, and that's why they have unpaired electron. That's why they show DD transition, and hence they show the color. That can be answered. But which color it will show, that is completely experimental. So there is only way to learn that. Okay. In absence of ligand, splitting does not occur, and hence substance is colorless. If there will be no splitting, if it is like that, there is no splitting, there is no unpaired electron, then that substance will be colorless. That you can say. More number of unpaired electron, darker will be the color. That you can say. No unpaired electron, colorless it will be. That also you can say. Okay. So that you can say that which one is dark and which one is light. Like इस तरह से आप कर सकते हो. तो in that case you have to answer that it is having more number of unpaired electron. That's why it is having darker color, while this is having less number of unpaired electron, and hence less like what we say, dim color or light color. Okay. For example, removal of water from this on heating makes it colorless. अब ये इसको अगर हम heat करते हैं water हट जाएगा तो obviously it will be colorless. And how it will be? यहाँ पे we can change that aqua इसको like we can show that solvent like isomerism. Yes. So 2H2O can be outside and 2Cl can be inside. So that water which is coming out, if we vaporize that, if we heat that, that water will be vaporized and it will show the colorless. So this is the thing that given in your NCERT. So it is the complementary color. ये देखो यहाँ पे that is the light color of light absorbed and color of coordination entity. So yellow violet देगा, blue green red देगा, blue जो होगा yellow orange देगा, ultraviolet pale yellow देगा. Red will give you blue color, blue green will give you purple color. So अब यहाँ पे blue green red भी दे रहा है, blue green purple भी दे रहा है. It depends upon the wavelength कि कौन से wavelength को ये absorb कर रहा है. This is 500 and this is 498. What is the difference? So it will show you the different color. Got it? So this is completely complete thing to learn only. So now in continuation of this color in coordination compound, there are few things which we have to understand. If a bidentate ligand, ethane 1,2-diamine आपको दिया जा रहा है, is progressively added to nickel 2 chloride, dissolve in water in molar ratio En and Ni 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, then what will be the reaction and what will be the color change that we are going to study. Okay, you are provided with the ethane 1,2-diamine, nickel 2 chloride and water as a ligand. Okay, so let's see the equations. This is NiH2O whole 6 hexa aqua nickel 2 if it is reacting with one En molecule. So one En will go inside. It is a bidentate. So if one is going inside, so that means two ligand will be coming out, isn't it? So one En will go inside and 2H2O will come out like this, 2H2O. Okay, because we have to maintain the nickel 2 and we have to maintain the coordination number over there. You can write here also. This can be like 2H2O. यहाँ पे भी हम लिख सकते थे, but this is +2. So now you will say that, ma'am, you said that chloride over here, but you are not using chloride anywhere. So it is understood, okay? As a counter ion, chlorine is there. It is understood because it is charged. Okay, clear? So what will happen? This will form Cl2.2H2O, which on heating, 2H2O will be vaporized. So आगे separate हो जाएगा. So that it is. Now, whatever the product we got, in this again one En is going to attach. Okay. So one En is going inside. That means it will take out 2H2O outside again. So what will happen? 2H2O will left inside and it becomes 2En2. Yes, En2, 2H2O. Now again one more En if I am adding, and instead of this 2, it will come out and it will remain like NiEn whole thrice plus 2H2O. Now all the water molecules, it was like all the water molecules get evaporated. So that's why the color becomes what? Light, and it becomes violet. So it is pale yellow, then blue purple, and then it comes violet. So like this. If water molecule will not be there, it will show the light color. Now limitation of CFT. This is the following limitation of CFT are: assuming ligands as a point charge, it follows that anionic ligands should exert the greatest splitting effect. The anionic ligands actually found at low end of the spectrochemical series. This is the thing that you have to just learn. It won't be there in the paper, just to get the knowledge only. It does not explain the covalent character of bonding between ligands and central atom. How they form covalent character. What is the covalent character between that? It doesn't explain. Now, weakness of CFT are explained by LFT and MOT. This is explained by LFT and MOT, which are beyond the scope of present study. ये higher study में हम करेंगे इसको, ठीक है? So that's all about the CFT. And next topic, small topic is left because of this time constraint. We have not completed this. So still one more lecture will be is left over there, and in that we will be able to finish the chapter. So that is carbonyl compound and importance of coordination compound and chemistry. That is left. So that we will do in our next video. So till then, thank you class. Enjoy your studies.